Hello, welcome to Mart's Garage. Here's the Sedan. Over the last couple of days I did this patch at the back here, which I'm relatively happy about. I think it came out okay. Yeah, not bad, not bad. And now I want to tackle this one here, which is similar but possibly a little bit more involved. I'm hoping to let a piece in but stop short of the bottom edge, so the bottom edge retains that curve, and then I'll just kind of come up like that, back over here and down there. I think my best bet is to just hack that out and then make a piece to try and copy the shape. I'll do my best to copy it. That line looks pretty straight along there, looking along from the edge. Can't really see much of a curve in it. I'll go see if I can bend a piece of metal to the same shape. There's my piece. okay. Right, oh, big hole there. I think I need to grind that before I try and weld it though. Okay, I'll tidy up a little bit and then I'll start grinding. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Possibly a little bit hollow there. I might see if I can just push that bit out. But you know, hollow is okay because you can feel that. At least it's a solid repair. Let's have a look on the inside. There's my little piece there, look. On the inside. So you can see that there's good access to this area, so there's no reason why it should rust out, because you can keep dosing it with oily substances. Yeah, not bad, not bad, not bad. Quite pleased with that, to be honest. So I'm going to see if I can just push it out a little bit. I'll get my lights. I won't try and film it because it's too awkward. I'll come back in a bit. I went inside and just pushed it out a little bit. There's a couple of slight lumps there, but this is generally low, so when it gets filled it'll all blend in. I spotted a bit there that I'd missed, so I've just come back and welded that. But I think that's alright. Okay, righto, really am going now. Take care and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then, bye. Hello, welcome back to Mart's garage. I'm looking at the other side of the car now. I want to do the same job here. I've attacked it quite brutally with a wire brush to try and expose any weak points. But what I noticed was this moves. The whole thing isn't actually attached underneath. But I think the bottom edge is still okay. So I'm just about to cut this out. And I'll show you what it looks like when I've cut it out. Okay, back in a little bit. There's my piece that I've just cut out. This piece needs to be reattached under there, and then I can bring my new piece down to it. I mean, I'm asking myself, why don't I just make a new piece for the bottom? Maybe that would be a good idea. But it's actually quite hard to do both sides of a thing. It's better if you can just do one side. Well, anyway, so I'm going to make this piece and then a piece to extend it forwards to match that, to make that. So I want about an inch longer than that. So you need, what you want is around about a pretty sharp sort of 60-degree bend, and then a radius coming off it. Hello, right, I've made my patch piece. I had to have two goes because I messed the first ones up. I got the sharp bend and the radius the wrong way around. It kind of fits. I've got the extension on the front. But it sort of fits. You know, enough to kind of knock it into place. I haven't showed it because, to be honest, it's quite tricky. There's a bit of a storm going on today, that's why you could probably hear a lot of going on in the background. What I do, I just get the piece that I cut out and scribe round it. Then I cut it as close as I can. You know, hopefully it'll fit. Yeah, so I think I'll just put a bit of, what you call it, in there, the weld through primer. Just try and get that in place. I'll bring it back when there's more to show. I won't film it because I did film the last one. Hello. It's partially welded in. You can see where I've got to do a little bit more. There's a hole down there. I need to fill a bit there. I started welding that bottom edge and then I didn't realise, but I ran out of gas. So I thought, okay, I'll take a break. I think I'll grind it and then finish the welding. It's not too bad, quite pleased with it. I watched Kyle Carter Auto Restyling. I watched him repair the caddy fender and he did a fantastic job. It was completely bent out of shape. Welded it back together. It'd been cut, welded it back together and knocked it all into shape, hammering and dollying. Fantastic. I can't do that. I'll try, but I just can't do it. Okay, righto. I'll grind it off. I hope I've got a bottle. I think I have. And then I'll finish it off, but I might not be able to do that today. I don't know yet. Okay, I'll bring it back when I've done a bit more. Hello, right, I've finished it. I'm not really happy with it, but it's about as good as I can get. I welded this piece underneath here, under there, where it had broken off. Yeah, it's in. It'll fill. Okay. Right. That's that one. So there's only that one in front of the door that you can't quite see. And then that's all four corners repaired. Okay. That one's done. Did that yesterday. Start looking at this one. I've poked a scriber through any of the holes, but I'll basically do more or less what I've done already. I'll just do another copy of that. There's the hole. There's the piece I just cut out. Although there was very little showing on the outside, there was a lot of stuff built up. I just swept it out there, look. Yeah, it's not too bad though, not too bad. I'll get a piece cut out and form it to shape. Okay, I'll try and capture making this piece. There's the metal. Here's my piece. I've cut that out. I put two marks on it there that coincide with the crease. So I'm going to try and put the first crease in. That means bending it towards me. So that's the first bend. I think it could go a bit more, to be honest. Now I've got to put like a radius on there which is a bit harder to do. This is where I kind of messed it up a few times. Start getting that shape bending down. Got a bit, it's a bit out there to there. I'm not happy with the shape. I'm going to take my coat off because I'm getting quite warm. Yeah, that's a bit better. I've got more of a bend closer to that edge now. Still got a little bit of curve in the rest of it, so not too bad. No, it's still nothing like it. A little bit like it actually, that end. Yeah, that's not too bad. I think this damage here is stopping me getting a good reading at that point. Still got a bit more curve in it than that one. Okay. Right, that's about as good as I can get it. With my limited skills. So I'm aligning the crease there, if I can, as best as I can. And I'm going to scribe round that now and then cut this. Okay, I don't know if you can see, I've got a scribe line there now. I'll get my snips and cut that out. Okay, righto. And that's how I've been doing them, but I've done all four like that. This was a little bit harder because it was a bit longer. The others fitted within the vice jaws. Okay, let's go back to the enclave. Hello. Okay, I'm welding it in. It's not going great. I should have tried harder to get a better shape. The shape's okay, but the outer, the outer shape isn't quite right. Plus I've got quite a, that's dipping away a bit there. Not quite sure what's happened there. And it's not in line very well there. So I might cut that weld and bash that in a bit. I've had to cut the welds and take it out a couple of times. It ain't too bad. I've seen better. But I'm going to have a job filling this. Anyway, I'll give it my best shot and I'll bring you back when I've got more to show. Okay, it's welded in. Not my finest hour. That was really hard work actually. One of the big problems is I'm not very agile, and kneeling down for all that time becomes quite difficult. But it's in. I'll give it a grind and then I'll look at what I want to do to all four of the repairs with regards to bodywork. Righto, I'll show you the finished job before I pack up. But I'll get grinding on that now. Well, there it is, all ground up. I'm not fantastically happy with it, and it was a real difficult thing to weld in. It's a little bit kind of out of line along here. This shape doesn't, it's got a bit of a bulge here. I might try knocking that in actually. I wonder if I can do that. Well, I gave it a bit of a hit. I think it's a little bit better. Didn't want to go too mad because I didn't want to break any welds or anything. Yeah, I think that's okay. It's alright. 1, 2, and there's 2 more on the other side, so that's 4 repairs done. But that's going to do it for this session, so thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. Hello, welcome to the inner sanctum at Mart's garage. I've used the wire wheel and took the primer back on these where I've done these patch panels. I've done all 4. I'm going to mix up a bit of filler and put some filler on. I'll get cracking. I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Okay, put a bit of filler on. Again, I ain't much of an expert at this sort of thing. I imagine most of it will get sanded off. I might take the doors off. This is the one that's the most out of shape. When you look at it, you can see there's quite a transition in shape between here and there. It's kind of leans in a lot here and it is pretty straight there. So it's got a curve to it like that. So I managed to get filler up the door somehow. I don't know how I did that. Okay, I'll wait for that to dry then and get filing. Hello, right, I've given them a little bit of a sanding. This one's had a bit of a sand. Now I can see there's a little low spot there and a little bit of blending to do, but the basic shape's not bad, I think. Considering I was worried that it was a bit low, but it was a bit low there, but I'll put some filler there. Something that's not too bad. Need to do the lower edge there. This one's got too much filler on it. I need to take quite a lot of filler out of there, put much too much on. And I need to just put a little bit more in here. So that's not too bad. You know, they're all looking pretty good, to be honest. That one's probably not too bad, not too bad. Just a very small skim, and that will probably look okay. And this one's not too bad as well. A couple of little low spots, just need a tiny bit more filler. Okay, righto, looking good, looking good. You back. I'm absolutely covered in it. Look at me jacket. Look at me trousers. Okay, righto. Thanks for joining me in the garage. Take care and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then, bye. Same on the other side. I'm just using it straight out of the cup to save messing up a tray. I quite like using the roller for the primer. It works alright and you put a decent coat on and you know, saves all the messing about with the spray guns. Okay, right ho. Let's call it good for now. I'll wash up, tidy up a little bit, and I'll bring you back when there's more to show. But that sort of concludes this repair session. The next thing I need to plan for is getting some primer on. This is etch kind of. Righto. My inner sanctum seems to be working quite well. I haven't seen any condensation on the car. I still put a sheet over it though. Thanks very much for joining me in the garage. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. Hello. Yeah, I'm in the inner enclave, and I've just done a couple of small jobs today. These holes here were torn at this edge, so I filled it with weld and then put a bit of paint on. There's screws that go in at the back, and I managed to get 3 out of the 4 out. One of them snapped, unfortunately. So yeah, so again, just nitty gritty little jobs. That hole there was out of shape. It's like as it been filled up with weld, so I've just touched that with a die grinder. Just these silly little jobs. I put another coat of paint on the patch panels that I did yesterday. I painted them yesterday, and I've just put another coat of paint on those. And I redid these patches down here because I painted over burnt paint, and I thought to myself, maybe that burnt paint ain't going to adhere very well, so I ground it all off and repainted them. Okay, righto. But anyway, the body is more or less done. It'll never be perfect, but it's not bad at all considering how old it is and how little repairs I've had to do to it. Okay, these will need another coat of paint here, look. Next time I do some, I'll put some more on there. Okay, righto, just a little update, just a little job today. Yeah, I was annoyed about breaking the one on that side, the screw. This one came out, the bottom one, but I broke the top one. They're only 1032, so there ain't really much to them. I'm still trying to get this screw out of here, and it's up there. And what I've done, I've welded a blob of weld on it, and I've welded a washer on. And I cut little slots in the washer, and it is turning now. And I'm kind of levering the washer around. I don't know if I can show it. There it goes. Okay, good. There's the screw. There's my washer that I welded on. Look. Worked well that did, because it enabled me to kind of turn it round. It was really, really difficult to get at that screw. There's the thing. That one there came out. This one broke. So having broke this one, after it turned a bit and then broke, the problem is trying to drag the rusty part of the thread through the hole. So on the other side I took the die grinder and took the end off the thread, so that once it turned and it came through, it wasn't then trying to drag the rusty part of the thread through the hole. And the other side came out really easy. Plus there was like a vibration when it was doing it, so you know, that would have helped free it up. And I've managed to get this one out. I know it's only a very small thing, but it's just, I feel a sense of achievement at getting that out, because it was really, really difficult. So I've got both those out now. Okay, that was just a quickie. There you are, another one out. And a technique that I hadn't used before due to the difficult access. Okay, thanks a lot for joining me in the garage then. Hello, having got those screws out from there, I ran a tap through them, and I bought a little kit. Now there's a seller in the UK that sells Model A parts, and I bought these. These are for a Model A, but it does fit, and I've just fitted one in there, and you can see the new screws coming through, and you can see the slot there, so that does seem to fit. So I'm just going to put this one on the other side. It's a bit awkward because you have to kind of work around backwards around there, but it does fit. So I would imagine a lot of people don't even realise there was supposed to be anything there. I didn't know till it was mentioned. And there you can see the new screw. Okay, just a tiny little job. Okay, righto. Oh shit, I forgot about that there. There's a repair there, isn't there, that needs doing? Oh bollocks. Okay, I've completely forgotten about that. Right, that's a job for tomorrow, I suppose. Hello, I'm going to do a bit of work on that header rail. I've took the car down off the jacks. I've took the wheels off and put it just down on some bare rims, so it's sitting nice and low, so it's easy to get at that piece there. Okay, righto. Anyway, that's the job, so I will start working on it. Okay, back in a bit then. I ground that rivet and then popped it through, and I drilled these spot welds, and I didn't film it, but I'll show you the general sort of technique. The spot welds tend to create a depression, so if you put the drill like that and start drilling, it'll tend to go to the middle of the weld. Then as you're drilling, you can start doing that, so that you're kind of taking out the metal at the edges rather than in the middle like that. Very pronounced, that sort of action. And then I've got this wood chisel that I have sort of slimmed right down to nothing. Then you put it up there like that and hit it with the hammer sideways, and it splits them apart. Well, here's the area that I've cut out. I might just do from there to there as one piece, from there to there as one piece, and then this piece separate, because there's a curve on it. If you look along, there is a curve, so you know, I don't want it to look straight. I'll start having a look at it, and I'll bring you back when I've got something to show. Hello, we're doing a bit of spraying. Jeff's doing the spraying, I'm doing the watching. Yeah, lots of dents. It's warm in here. I've had 2 heaters on. Just turned them off while we're doing the actual spraying. I think this is going to have to be a warts and all paint job. I can see so many dents now. Okay. Not a great deal then. No. Supposed to do them first anyway, ain't you? Again? Supposed to do them first anyway. Yeah. Oh, I can hear it running out there. Yeah, looking good, to be honest. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that because we ain't got any more primer. But it's just a bit of a test really to see if we can spray in these conditions on the odd dry day that we're having. I'll put the heater back on now, Jeff.
Quite well, that,
yeah, it's not too bad, is it?
no, not bad at all.
I'll put the heaters back on now then.
Okay. I'll wash you.
I'll turn the camera off, although a big bang would be a good YouTube goal, wouldn't it? Okay, back in a bit. Hello, I've mixed up a bit of paint. I'm going to try and put another coat of primer on. I haven't sprayed for a very long time. Jeff's not here, so I'm flying solo. Yeah, okay, I'll just get on with it. Hello, it's the morning after. I did a little bit more yesterday. I mixed up another batch of paint and gave it another coat, so the whole car has the lighter coloured primer now, and it looks okay, to be honest. It was very wet last night, very rainy last night. So, and it's rather wet today, so I probably won't be doing any painting today, but that might give me the opportunity to do that repair there, because I stopped doing that repair because the weather came nice so that I could get some paint on. So I thought, well, I can do that repair at any time. I'm annoyed that I haven't done it, but I do need to do that repair, so I can do that, and then when I get the next opportunity I can put a bit more, well, rather it'll just be a case of flattening it down and putting the colour on. But I think it looks okay, and I think this improvised, you know, spray booth, for want of a better term, is really good. Nothing wrong with it at all. Really good. And you know, it with the little electric heaters in here, it can get quite warm. I know I'm not an expert, and the people will be seeing what I'm doing and thinking, he ain't doing that right. I'm probably doing everything wrong. Trying to do it this time of year is the first big mistake, isn't it? But you know, I just wanted to get some paint on it. Yeah, that's my next job. I need to get all that back to bare metal and start making some patch pieces. I think Jeff's coming around later. I might ask him if he wants to have a go at filling some of the little remaining dents. There's one there. They don't show up so much now that it's all in this semi-matte, and there's a series of dents here as well in that area there. Very hard to show them on camera. I might just leave them. There's a dent here, and there's the remnants of a dent here, and we got seams here. I think I'll leave them. Okay. So there's the result of that little spray session yesterday. Hello. Hello. I've been out here for, I don't know, an hour or so, and I've been working on that patch panel there. I've used the wire wheel and cleaned all this up. This is my repair piece, which is cut from the edge of a piece of shelving. That's going to go up there like that. I didn't use cardboard, I just kind of kept chipping away at it. I can put a bolt through there, and these are prepared for spot welds. I need to trim that a little bit there to get that level, so that needs a little bit more work, and that's actually okay there. Might just trim a bit there. Yeah, the shape's not bad, to be honest, so I will do that little bit of trimming and have a go at welding it in. I'll bolt it in there first, and then I'll try and get it welded in. Oh God. Alright. Fucking hell. Fucking hell. Bloody hell. That was a bit frightening. All the masking went up. Yeah, hadn't figured on that. Burnt holes everywhere, look. Still going there. Got bloody ignition switches done it. See that? Did you see that? Oh fucking hell, look, it's going up from in there. It's a bastard, isn't it? This. Number one lesson, finish all your welding before you start masking up. Okay, I'm gonna have to go outside for a little bit because there's a lot of fumes. Back in a bit. Hello. Well, this is a complete disaster. Could have been worse, obviously. Scorched. I've welded this in. It looks a mess, but it'll probably be alright once I've cleaned it up. Gotta do a lot of grinding. I took off the masking that had got burnt, And I started again, it all went up again, all this went up. It was just, and other bits all along the sills, all the way back to here. It's all gone, it all went in the car there. So it'll all have to be sanded down again and re-primed. Look at the state of it. At least the car didn't go up as such, only the masking. Serves me right, doesn't it? You know, it's just inexperience, really. And I was so mad keen to get the paint on. I was trying to tie it in with the weather that I left this job. That's gone all sticky there for some reason. I put some tape on there to protect the paint, but as I took the tape off, it's brought all the paint off anyway. So I'll have to redo all this bit. That bit there's not too bad. That bit there's a mess. It was all different types of repair. That bit was similar to that bit. Got a bit more to do there, but once you start getting a lump like that, the weld will keep going to it, so you've got to get rid of it. So I'm going to grind all this off now and have a look, see what's left, and you know, put a few more bits of weld. Look at that, it's all gone on my steering wheel and everything. It's all sticky as well. Horrible. Righto. Yeah. This will take a bit of grinding. I'm hoping there's enough weld high up. I sort of had to build up a lump of weld and then stitch it into the skin. I think, you know, most of it is covered by the windshield. The rubber comes up here somewhere. Okay, I'll get grinding then, and I'll bring you back when there's more to show. I've ground it back. It don't look too bad. I've got to finish welding there. Got to put a little bit in there. A little bit there. A little bit there. I'll probably just weld that. Tiny bit there. This looks okay. Within the realms of a little bit of filler. I might try and put a bit more weld in here just to build this up. Yeah, not too bad. I just wish I hadn't, you know, ruined everything else, but hey, you know, it's just lessons learnt, isn't it? Should have done this before doing all the masking and painting. My own fault. I'll try and build this up with weld and then I'll just finish it with filler. But not too bad, really. I could just go straight in with filler, couldn't I? No, I'll try and weld that there. Okay, back in a bit. Hello. Well, I'll finish that welding. I welded that hole up. Was it there? There it was. Was it there? Yeah, I welded it up. A little bit dirty, but whatever. This will just take a little smear of filler and I think it'll look okay. At least I got rid of all the rust. So the next time I have a session in here, I will assess the damage and start clearing up and tidying up and clearing up all this burnt remnants. And I'll sit and have a think now about if I was lucky or unlucky in what happened. I think I was lucky that it didn't get any worse than it was. Okay, righto. I'm going to go and have a cup of tea now and a piece of cake. So, thanks very much for joining me in the garage. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then. Bye. Burnt all the way back to here. Glad I hadn't got my good tyres on. I did it before, didn't I, over there when I was welding on that wheel arch? You think I'd learn my lesson? I am my own worst enemy sometimes. Oh well. Okay, right. Okay. Take care then, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then, bye.